Hey, dude, it is so hot in this studio. I haven't been in here in like 2 weeks, and it's just been baking. Like, it is so, and I'm not going to keep the air conditioner on for obvious reasons.
Ron knows all about that.
Like, seriously, if my taint had a taint, it would just be just about almost as humid and
swamp ass.
Is it possible for, can a taint employ a taint its own,
like a taint squared?
Look, if you believe you can attaint anything.
Oh. He's got it.
He's got it
good. Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on. All right, hold on. Now, can you hear this?
Loud and clear.
Great.
Crystal clear.
Fuck me.
You know Bert usually does that in post, right?
No, I know. But I have some. I
fuck people.
I mean, I also have I'm ready to go too. So if everyone's
nice.
Can you confirm that you guys can hear this?
Loud and clear.
Clickety clackety.
Perfect.
All right. Hi guys. Thanks for having me and stuff. Shit.
You want to do this?
Yeah. I do. I want to talk about it. I'm ready to talk, man.
100.
I am Bert.
I am Drew.
I'm Ron.
And that's Bert. Oh, that's so 3 seasons ago. I'm Ryan.
And this is the 100 Albums podcast, where we discuss the ins, the outs, and the absurdities of a poster that depicts 100 seemingly random albums. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called pod. Electric word, pod. It takes forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you there's something else. The poster. A world of never-ending podcast. You can always see the darts, day or night. So when you call up that creator in Beverly Hills, you know the one, Dr. Poster Secrets. Ask him how much of your time is left. Ask him how much of your mind. Because in this pod, things are much harder than in the poster. In this pod, you're on your own. And if the Secrets tries to bring you down, go crazy. Punch a turkey cutlet.
Oh,
I love it.
I have missed these intros.
It was too long.
Man, you should have requested an accompaniment. I could have hooked you up.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Season 5. Woo-hoo! Oh, my God. It's the first episode of Season 5.
The final season.
That's right. The final season. If you're new here, or if you've been with us since Season 1, welcome. We're so happy that you're joining us. Here we are at album number 81 as we continue going through these 100 albums that appear on this poster that Drew got a couple of years ago from his wife, Lisa. We first went through the entire poster, listened to each album, shared our thoughts and reactions with each other via video chat. And then once we were done with that, we thought it might be a fun project to turn into a podcast. But before we get into tonight's album, we're once again welcoming a special guest to the podcast. Nate Walker is a writer, producer, singer, man about town, and he's joined us before. If you go back and listen to the Radiohead episode, OK Computer, Nate joined us before, and we're super happy to welcome back to the podcast. Welcome again, Nate.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me. You guys are awesome. I love the whole thing, all the episodes. You guys are insane. I can't believe you're at 81. Congratulations.
Yeah, we don't look a day over 50.
Yeah, that's right. Good on you. You're staying young. You're staying fit. You're staying lean.
We're trying. Okay, so welcome, Nate. Guys, let's go ahead and get into this week's album, Purple Rain by Prince. Iconic. As always, let's start with the vibe. What are your first impressions of this album? Nate, let's start with you.
Okay, I have kind of like put a statement together as I do. I had to get my thoughts out.
Every damn time.
I know, no shit. I know. I'll speak quickly, but Prince means a ton to me. If someone was to ask me like, who is your favorite artist? Who would you, if you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would it be? Full disclosure, mine would be Prince. It just is. That's how it is. So this artist means a ton to me. The album means a ton to me. So I will do my best to try to keep things succinct. I might not get there, but I'll try. Anyway, here's my opening statement. Not a huge Dave Grohl fan, and stick with me, but he said it as plainly as it can be said. Prince is a genius. Everybody knows it. He's better than everybody at everything he does. The end.
That's great.
True story.
I've never heard that before.
That's succinct.
Yeah. So
Dave Grohl knows how to say the right things.
yeah. So here's my thing. Purple Rain, it's both an album and a soundtrack of a movie that's starring Prince. And if any small part of the big equation that they put together came up short, the whole thing would have collapsed, right? Purple Rain, however, was a slice of absolute magic, a high wire act that was at its time and became its own cultural, generational career inflection point. Prince managed to create and release something so complete and laser focused in vision, but universally appealing and broad in reach. How mind-bending that such a self-referential loop of a project could do exactly what it set out to do, make Prince the megastar he remained until he passed, solidify his effortless cool and mystique, and confirm without a doubt the genius in his ability to create art, intellectual and sexual at once, without compromise. And one more quote from somebody, a dude from Billboard, Andrew Unterberger, said, Purple Rain is certainly in contention for the most perfect album in rock or pop history, expertly flowing from track to track while delighting, surprising, and astounding in each bend. Personal and universal, familiar and challenging, romantic and narcissistic, religious and orgasmic, accessible to all, and profoundly weird. Purple Rain rightly remains the cornerstone of Prince's recorded legacy, almost too obvious in its brilliance to even be worth discussing at length.
Which
And
we're
at that-
about to do.
I was going to say, and at that, the podcast is over.
And let's discuss it later.
So y'all ready to purify yourselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
That's too cold for that shit, man. Shrinkage, wild shrinkage.
Well, you know, it
Anyway,
turns out,
I
obviously that
gush,
it's not
I gush, but yeah.
She gets in the wrong lake, but we'll get into that later, Nate.
Yes.
I know. Of course, that's not Lake Minnetonka.
Right.
Yes.
Ron, how about you, buddy?
So I remember listening to this album on vinyl when it came out, because my aunt bought it and she was a huge Prince fan, and she had dubbed it onto a cassette tape, and I used her Walkman to listen to this on headphones for a long time. So this is like 5-6-year-old, no, would have been 6-7-year-old me, and I can remember sitting in the back of her car just listening to this on repeat. So it takes me back to that time. So that's my vibe. Is it takes me back a long fucking way, and I've enjoyed reliving that.
All right. Well, I mean, this is kind of a strange album to say this about, but in my house, this is a family favorite. Now, I realize in 1984, a lot of the subject matter of this may not
Family friendly?
Wait,
But
are
I
we
will-
talking family now or family back then, dude?
My family right now.
Okay.
We put this on. I know every lyric. Well, I know every lyric to every song. Liz knows every lyric to every song, and my daughter knows every song. I don't think she knows every lyric, and we'll probably get into that. And it is this weird blend of excessively rock pop majesty with, if you put it in the headphones, so freaking much going on to tickle your nipples. This album kind of does it all. And I keep thinking about, and I know we're going to get into some of the details here, but you know, the fact that the title track was performed and recorded live for the album.
Yeah.
There's somebody that was only ever at that concert. Okay. There has to be, right? Like they were just there for that moment for some reason. And they're probably feeling sad, you know, that That's all they saw. And it's like, look, when you only see one set of Prince, it's because Prince was carrying you.
Oh my god,
That was a great. I could just see that building, Ryan. You're like, that's a good setup. Good setup.
Dude, now the pod is over.
That's
Now
microphone drop,
yeah,
right? Well, for me, I and apologies to 4 of the 5 of you. Ryan is the only person who'll probably get this reference. But Ryan, do you remember freshman year in college, Scranton Hall, floor 5, RRA Eldridge?
Oh yeah, I know Eldridge.
Eldridge was a huge Prince fan.
Huge.
Like posters on the walls in the room and that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to go backwards in time. I'll start there and say I was not a huge Prince fan at that time. I was more into whatever I was into at that time that I thought I was too cool for school or whatever, right? And so I kind of had I had a certain thought about Eldridge. You know what I mean? Like, is he just a dork or whatever, right? Of course, I regret that all now as a grown up and a mature person.
As you should, yeah.
You should, right? I was wrong. Make no mistake. But go farther back in time, and my earliest memories of this album were when I was growing up down outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. There was a kid who lived in my neighborhood named Cleet Ferguson. Yes, his name was Cleet. And if you're listening, Cleet, I hope you're doing well, buddy. I remember
it's such a Pennsylvania name.
It is, right? Don't ask how it's spelled because I'm not
very
sure.
PA.
CLETE or EAT? I'm not sure. Very central Pennsylvania. Yeah. But Cleet came over to my house one time. We were hanging out. My brother may even have a memory of this. I don't know. And he was playing When Doves Cry on like a little, it wasn't a boom box necessarily, but it was a little tape player that had the batteries in it and you could kind of carry it around over. So he's playing When Doves Cry and he starts beatboxing the When Doves Cry drum beat, right? And so this was my first experience in person with someone trying to beatbox. He wasn't Biz Markie by any stretch, but he was trying to beatbox this. And so this is like a core memory that's like seared in my brain, and it's associated with this album because of When Doves Cry. So those are my kind of two disparate moments in my formative years that are associated with Prince. Now, as an adult who likes to think of himself as someone who's, open-minded and will take things in and that kind of stuff.
You do like to think of yourself that way.
I do like to think of myself that way.
It's good to think of yourself.
It's not universal, but keep going.
It's my perspective. At some point in my adulthood, I realized the error of my ways from the college years and was like, oh my God, this music is so good. Everything he touches is, I mean, I would say gold, but it's probably diamonds and pearls. But
if I gave you diamonds and pearls, would you be a happy boy or a girl?
Thank you. There's going to be a lot of that tonight, folks. I feel like the vibe here is very jokey. But so anyway, love Prince, love everything about it. I have not heard anything Prince do that I didn't like. Full disclosure, and we'll talk about it later, this is not my favorite Prince album, but this is still, I mean,
I like that.
Like, it doesn't matter. They're all 10s practically. So anyway, that's kind of my vibe.
Toothless, what do you got?
Judah Friedlander, you're up next.
So my turn.
Druda?
I got a visual.
Druda?
I have a visual vibe tonight.
Oh no!
Oh my God,
Drew, I have it upstairs.
This is with
Oh my! Yeah, there you
my
go.
album. So I have the original 1984 that also has the poster.
Yeah, we had to dig for this one.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Because you rarely get the poster in them, so you gotta
true.
work hard to find him. We bought that from a guy named Johnny Satan, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
So when we moved to our new house, the movers were a little bit rough with our records, and our Purple Rain copy got cracked.
Oh no!
And I was still working at the record store, or at least with record store people, and I expressed my grief. And my dear friend Frank, who now owns his own record store, within like weeks, somehow he's like, "Oh, I found this mint copy, basically, of Purple Rain with the poster. I was thinking I'd just put $6 on it. Do you want it?" I'm like,
Nice.
I love you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
But you paid and just took the poster, right?
Well, that poster's from Controversy. That one.
No, though I pay an homage every evening to the poster. That's part of it's like an unwritten rule if you own it. And I don't want to tell you what's involved, but let's just say there's a lot of oil.
Yeah, I know. No, I mean that poster is shocking. I don't know why it's not hanging up yet. We've yet to frame it, but it's going to happen. We've got a haul for that type of thing. But that poster to me, it defines Prince in general, obviously, and this album in audio terms. I mean, from the name Prince, this guy is the example. He is the demonstration that we all should be following. It's incredible how freaking good he is. And yet, without getting weirdly music theory scientific, these songs are 1-4-5 songs, guys. Like some are only one. Like it's incredible how good he is. I don't have any other vibes than that, and except this album is the epitome of that to me. So
You know what is true? And I hate to jump ahead, but it's the commitment. There's no moment on any Prince record, regardless of what the musical expression is, where he half-asses it. He's like,
Yeah.
Here's the shoreline. I'm just going to 100% dive as far into it as possible. And because he has that courage and also the abilities to back it up, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Right.
Well,
I think that's where you can compare him to somebody like Michael Jackson, but that's where they differ. Is Prince fired all this out himself musically, and that's always impressive. You know,
I was gonna bring that up as a point probably sometime later on. The kind of the time frame of it. You know, Thriller had just come out the year before, and Michael Jackson sitting on top of the world, et cetera, et cetera. And this kind of unspoken or plainly spoken kind of, the two guys at the top of the kind of the R&B pop world, at the time. And that the big difference now looking back that I didn't know, that I wasn't, that I see now is that, as obviously as magical and from another world as Michael Jackson was, and as amazing as his output was and his talent, that you could have someone like Prince up the game as a one-man show and do the whole thing front to back. Whereas Michael Jackson had a cast of people supporting him, namely Quincy Jones and
he was already a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
absolutely. Yeah. He had already come from all the connections and projects
putting
beforehand.
Some of the research before the horse. Purple Rain was one of the first times where he actually welcomed input from other people.
That's right.
And on this album, he was like, oh, hey, let's make a collaborative effort. But speaking to that, it wasn't, it was Prince himself, said the reason he doesn't use musicians a lot of time is, in no offense to other people, no one can keep up with him. And I read multiple accounts where this fucker would go 24, 30 hours straight. of recording, playing, show up the next morning to do whatever and have a song ready. In reading everything, his work ethic is insane. His commitment, like Ryan was saying, absolutely head and shoulders. And when he had his 10,000 hours of doing music by the time he was probably 18. And so he was already a master.
Yeah.
And I mean, to your point though, I mean, and I did a lot of reading on similar things, and I'm excited to bring that to the table, but maybe we should keep this, our listeners are very finicky, and if we don't follow a formula, they tune out really quickly and start listening to other popular podcasts like the 101 Albums podcast. So, Bert, why don't you give us a little rundown?
I'm prepared, but I will preface my rundown by saying that if I wanted to do my normal kind of full exposure on the entire career, we'd be here all fucking night. So this is an abbreviated version.
I do wish, though, given your intro, I wish you could have found Eldridge and brought him in.
Oh man,
as a sixth guest.
Yeah, that would have been pretty clutch. But so yes, this is a more abbreviated type of rundown, because I also know that once Bert starts talking, everybody just walks out. They just leave. That's what's fucking happening.
I had to get a refill.
No, I'm totally messing with you. So yeah, I focused. I focused on Prince, kind of his upbringing, and then this album mostly. I did a little bit of the stuff leading up to this album, but I didn't really go into the stuff afterward. I'm not going to go into a bunch of the kind of subsequent albums, his fights with record labels, the artist kind of aspect. So I figure between all of us and the reading and stuff that we've been doing, folks will be covering that. So let's go ahead and talk about the background here. Prince Rogers Nelson was born on June 7th, 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to parents who were both musicians. His father, John Nelson, was a jazz pianist who performed under the name Prince Rogers, and his mother, Maddie Shaw, was a jazz singer. Music surrounded him from childhood, and he demonstrated remarkable aptitude almost immediately. Unlike many musicians who specialize in one instrument, Prince developed an unusually comprehensive understanding of music. By his early teens, he was proficient on piano, guitar, drums, bass, and keyboards. He learned not only how to play instruments, but how to compose, arrange, record, and produce them. Growing up in Minneapolis also exposed him to a distinctive local music scene. The city's musical culture blended rock, funk, jazz, soul, and R&B more freely than other regional scenes, helping shape Prince's refusal to accept traditional genre boundaries. More on that in a little bit. At just 19 years old, Prince signed his first record deal with Warner Brothers Records, and what made his contract extraordinary was that he insisted on producing his own records, a rare privilege for such a young, unproven artist. His debut album, For You, released in 1978, immediately revealed an astonishing level of musicianship. He reportedly played all 27 instruments credited on the album himself. Although sales were modest, critics recognized his immense talent immediately. That all being said, the only song that charted from that album was Soft and Wet. His self-titled second album was released in 1979 and produced 4 singles: I Want to Be Your Lover, Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad, Still Waiting, and Sexy Dancer. The next couple of albums demonstrated rapid artistic growth. Dirty Mind, released in 1980, challenged conventions with stripped-down arrangements and provocative lyrics. Controversy, in 1981, tackled politics, religion, race, and sexuality. 1999, released in 1982, established Prince as an international superstar with 5 singles, 4 of them that charted. Let's Pretend We're Married,
Let's pretend we're married, go all night. There ain't nothing wrong if it feels alright. I won't stop.
Little Red Corvette,
What have I got to lose? Honey, I say, little red Corvette. Baby, you're much too fast.
Delirious,
Comes to making them pass, pretty mama. I just can't win the rest, 'cause I get delirious. Delirious.
Automatic,
Music, baby, you know, I'm an automatic fool. Just tell me what to do.
and the title track, 1999.
So tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999.
By 1983, Prince had become one of America's most popular and exciting performers. Following the success of 1999, Prince wanted to create something much larger than just another studio album. His vision was ambitious: a feature film with an accompanying soundtrack, a showcase for his live band, The Revolution, and a project that would fuse rock, pop, R&B, gospel, funk, and arena spectacle into a single artistic statement. Purple Rain is Prince's 6th studio album. It was released on June 25th, 1984 through Warner Brothers Records as the soundtrack album to the 1984 film of the same name. Unlike many soundtrack albums, Purple Rain was designed simultaneously as a standalone musical artwork itself and as the emotional backbone of the accompanying film. One of the most remarkable aspects of the album is how it was recorded. The album was mostly written and recorded between May 1983 and March 1984, with Baby I'm a Star dating back to 1981. And this goes to what we can talk about a little bit later, but the fact that he always has just this queue of songs, stuff that he's written, and maybe it's recorded, maybe it's just in his head, maybe it's on paper, but he's just always got this kind of backlog of content to draw from. The last 3 songs on the album, I Would Die For You,
Never beat you, I never lie. If you evil, I forgive you by cause I would die for you. Yeah. Darling, if you want me to, you.
Baby I'm a Star,
I'm gonna change mine. It's gotta be a better life. Take things sweet, I ain't got time to wait. So baby, I'm a
and the title track, Purple Rain,
let me guide you to the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
were actually recorded live at the First Avenue show in Minneapolis on August 3rd, 1983. Although overdubs and edits took place on all 3 in September of 1983, the songs were originally recorded live. This marked Prince's first album to include live recordings. This album also marked one of the first times that Prince fully integrated the Revolution into his recordings, and this gave the music a broader, more collaborative sound. So what made Purple Rain revolutionary was its refusal to fit into any one single genre. Within the album, we've already talked about, funk and gospel and R&B, but there's hard rock guitar, there's synth pop elements, there's psychedelic rock, orchestral textures, arena rock. All of these kinds of blend into this one work of art. At a time when radio formats were still heavily segregated by genre, Prince produced an album that appealed simultaneously to rock, pop, R&B, and dance audiences, and this crossover success was unprecedented. Released alongside the album in July 1984, the movie Purple Rain blended fiction with autobiographical elements. Prince played the Kid, an aspiring Minneapolis musician struggling with family trauma, artistic ambition, and romantic relationships. Although critics had mixed opinions about aspects of the screenplay, Prince's magnetic performance and the musical sequences elevated the film into a commercial success. The soundtrack and the film reinforced each other, helping both reach audiences far beyond Prince's existing fan base. The movie won an Academy Award for Best Original Rock Score. And I know that at least one of us watched this movie last night. I don't know if, Ryan, you want to throw any
I did.
any of your thoughts in about the actual movie?
This is, I mean, an album I have listened to ad nauseum, but I had never seen the movie.
Oh, never.
What?
Not
How
once.
did you not see the movie?
I mean, I had heard enough about it that I was like, I'm good. But then we were doing this, and I was like, well, I this is a great opportunity, and I pitched it to Liz, and she's like, I haven't watched it in years either. So we watched it together last night, and I stand by that the soundtrack is amazing and that the movie is questionable. The movie has a lot of problems.
Difficult.
But I will say, for watching live performances of a man who I'll never be able to see perform, it was really cool in that aspect. The story is not actually, I will say the production and the story and all that kind of read about as good as Electric Boogaloo, in terms, like it was not
Breaking Two.
Breaking Two.
Yeah.
Waterloo.
like there's
right.
a lot of stuff that like you're like, I guess I just have to accept that this is what's happening. Like, oh, on his final performance, the band that's better than him plays first. So cool.
But look at you parsing this out like it's like it's not a movie.
But it is a movie.
That's what I'm saying.
He won to be.
That's what I'm saying. It's a movie.
Suspension of
But
disbelief.
it's also
Yeah,
it's a greatly written album and a poorly written movie. I will also tell you, a lot of my research led me to topics about the movie and how it had a very negative impact on the tour of this album.
Really?
So I guess, Prince, who we've already established as someone who has maybe excess creativity, like doesn't even know where to place it all, had found himself he made this creation that boxed him into a corner where he described it as being basically in a Broadway musical where every show had to be the same and had to look like the movie because he was promoting the music that accompanied the movie. And it allowed for no spontaneity and no change on what was happening on stage. The costumes were all very rigid. Everything had to be exactly so.
So that's really interesting, Ryan, because some of the research I saw, Prince described this album, or maybe the movie, I'm not sure, I'll have to go back and look, as his albatross. He's like, this is around my neck, and this is what everybody is expecting now. So it's a little bit different flavor of what you're talking about, where it's like, maybe the folks are expecting the concerts to all be the same, kind of just like the movie or whatever. But that's interesting. I hadn't.
Well, I mean, it
that-
got to
that
a point
perspective.
where they were on tour with this album and they were crushing it, by the way. They had no problem. I mean, this was a sellout show everywhere.
Mhm.
They canceled the tour. They were supposed to go to Europe and he canceled the entire leg. And he had all this stuff that he'd been holding back because he'd been doing the same show. And I was reading interviews from the members of the band. They're like, look, what you don't understand is not only did we do the same show every night, but before we even recorded the album, because of his work ethic, we had rehearsed every song for like 3 years, it felt like, right? So when he canceled the tour, he came out with his next album in like 3 months.
Yeah,
It was out, so it was damaging to him. And he did take that out on the people in the band,
The band,
unfortunately.
yeah.
And I know that they make allusions to that in the movie. The movie didn't realize that was going to come true, I don't think,
Yeah.
because that was before the problems happened. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to. That's about the movie. But Bert, you've got more rundown, and I've got more.
Well, I do,
research.
but I know Nate had said, I've seen the movie too. I haven't seen it in years, so I have very vague kind of recollections of like a guitar orgasm kind of vibe.
Well, that's
yeah.
the final
That's the very
scene.
end, the very
Yeah.
final
So-
scene.
And
But
so
there's
it's like,
also a
it's
lot
not-
of domestic
those are-
abuse. And
Yeah,
like,
but those are the
it's-
things that are kind of seared in my head. But I don't remember a lot of I couldn't tell you how good the acting is, or that kind of stuff. But
It's bad.
But see, I think that's expecting too much from something that was supposed to be a vehicle for a very specific thing. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't supposed to. I don't think it was supposed to be some kind of brilliantly acted movie. It was a vehicle. It was more along the lines of like a Tommy or
I mean,
something.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I've
disagree
always
with you,
accepted it for them.
Well, I was going to say he hired acting coaches and choreographers for them
No,
to
he
practice.
wanted this to be his break into acting.
And that I 100% understand. I totally get that. My take on it is no matter if it came up short or not, and sure, if you compare yourself against whatever, whomever or whatever.
If I compare this to Pod People, it comes up short.
but in your defense, you hold that in pretty high esteem.
I do. Fair.
I'm not trying to sell anyone on like the brilliance of, the acting talent. I'm not trying to sell anyone on that at all. What I think it was, what the way it reads to me is something that kind of shared the space with the music itself. It was gritty. It was exposed. It wasn't neat. It wasn't perfect. And it actually, there was something about it that felt, like it kind of in its imperfection. There was something about it that actually sold the thing better than if it was a perfect, perfectly acted movie, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
So
I think
I think anyway, that's my defense of it. And I again, like I said, it's not something I'm going to watch over and over again for its emotional draw or anything like that. I'm not.
Maybe for Apollonia.
but
I mean,
Nate,
yeah,
I will say, I mean, kind of on what you're hammering here, we are also entering an age where video was like a very important component of getting your music out there. And
MTV was only 3 years old.
So he in a lot of ways was kind of controlling how the video of his music was being put
100%,
rather than it being a movie.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'm being cruel to it as a movie because it was a theatrical release, but
Right.
I mean,
but
so
to your point.
kind of going back to earlier when we were kind of doing the Michael Prince comparison. Michael did Thriller, which wasn't a theatrical release, but Michael kind of wanted it to be. You know what I mean? Like it had
Right.
that vibe, right? Because it was like a feature length music video kind of thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
with a much a very different team
Yes.
involved. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, let's talk really quick. I'll wrap it up. I've only got a couple more things. Billboard 200 albums chart. Prince has 47 albums that charted on the Billboard 200. His
Well,
top-
hold on. I'm going to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
In the spirit of the podcast, at the time of this recording, we're only 2 days past
Yes.
when this album, on the date it came out in 1984, reached number one on the Billboard
Yeah.
charts. So
Yes.
we're like
Yeah.
really close to what I would call a Prince-versary. Sorry, go ahead.
TM Ryan Oldham, Prince of Verse.
Prince Miss.
So top 5 albums for Prince on the Billboard 200. 3121 spent 16 weeks on the chart. It peaked at number 1. The Batman soundtrack. Don't sleep on the Batman soundtrack.
Oh,
motherfucker.
Dude, I love it.
People
all day long, all day
I love
long.
that
So
soundtrack,
good.
and people shit on that.
It is
so bad.
It's brilliant.
No,
It's
that was my-
amazing.
Uh,
that was
so-
my entry drug.
So that
Gateway
spent,
drug.
30. Batman soundtrack spent 36 weeks on the chart. It
36.
36
Shit.
weeks. Around the World in a Day spent 45 weeks on the chart. It peaked at number 1. The Very Best of Prince, a greatest hits album. Sorry, Ryan. 68 weeks on the chart. It peaked at number 1. But this album, Purple Rain, spent 177 weeks on the
Wow.
chart. That's 3.5
Jesus.
years. It peaked at number 1, and it stayed there for 6 months. So hot damn. So that's charts. And then sales, top 5 for sales. We've got The Very Best of Prince, a greatest hits album in 2001, 2.4 million. The Batman soundtrack, again, 1989, 3.3 million. 1999 from 1982, 4.3 million. Diamonds and Pearls from 1991, 4.5 million. And the Purple Rain soundtrack, this album from 1984, just under 16 million albums of this one sold. All in all, depending upon where you look, Prince has sold somewhere between 100 and 150 million albums worldwide. I couldn't pin down a number because different sources are saying different things. Just know that his family's going to be okay for a really long time. You know? So after Purple Rain, many artists would spend the rest of their careers trying to replicate successes like he achieved, even just at this point, let alone the things that kind of continued after Purple Rain came out. Prince did the opposite. He deliberately avoided repeating himself. He went on to release dozens of more albums, each with its own unique personality and unique sound. So that's what I've got for the kind of the rundown, but we can continue to talk about what happened after this album.
Yeah, I got some stuff.
So,
I also, like you, I was trying to keep it brief because this is a deep well.
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention, as you mentioned, the Billboard charts and stuff like that. Listeners, just so you know, I consider myself a unsuccessful musician, and I had an album that was best of Bandcamp for 1 month. So that's almost almost the same. It's almost the same as what Prince.
No, Ryan, you can say it was the same. It's the same.
How does it feel to
It's
be
the
on
same.
that same cloud?
Prince and I are basically
Twinsies.
commercially twins.
Peers. Peers.
Couple of things here that I uncovered as I was researching. One is I read an interview with the band, and I'm sure we'll get into, this is truly an album with a band, and it's meant to be, and the band contributes in huge ways. So I read an article that only interviewed members of the band, and Lisa Coleman was talking about it. I didn't know this, so I'm going to do a quick direct quote. At first, he wasn't sure Purple Rain was actually a Prince song. It was kind of a country number, and he gave it to Stevie Nicks.
I have this too. Yeah,
I have it too. Yeah.
But she felt intimidated by it. So one day he decided to fool around with it at rehearsal. Wendy started hitting these big chords, and that rejigged his idea of the song. He was excited to hear it voiced differently, etc. It becomes what we know today.
Those open 9 chords, man.
That could have been
made the song. Yeah.
Stevie.
It could have been
Nicks
well, when I saw that, it could have been a country song. I was like, I'm so happy that it's not.
You know, George.
But that goes just to say, though, Prince can fucking do anything, because you know goddamn well, even if Prince did a straight up country song, you'd listen to it and it'd be good.
Oh, how many hits by other artists does he have? That's a whole another podcast.
Yep.
Did you ever see the interview with George Clinton was talking about Prince, and he was talking about the song Purple Rain, and he was calling Purple Rain, as it stands, the release, that track itself, he was calling it a country song. He was saying that's how he reached so many people, was because he gave people a country sound, because the melody is country, the chords are country, you know, and he said, you know, Prince has done all the things and he's funky as hell and blah, 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 and blah, and whatever. But from George Clinton's point of view, he's like, that song was able to, you know, embrace something that, no funk or R&B artist had really kind of tapped into at that point. So it's just the basic, and without getting too,
well, at least no one as big as him had tapped into, but
right. Yeah. In that way. But yeah, that's what part of the reach was, that song, its structure, its chord structure, its melody, its lilt, that thing was resonated in some country-ish way to, a larger population that wouldn't have heard of him otherwise.
the other thing I kind of looked into was surrounding. I mentioned some of the tour stuff already, so that was part of my research. So I'm going to call that a checkpoint. We're moving forward. I get an A+ for the assignment. I read an article that was fascinating to me because I'd only heard part of it from watching the documentary, but it revolves around obviously the infamous night about We Are the World. And so this is the height of this album. I think at that point he was up for 10 awards at the American Music Awards for that. And they had obviously asked Prince, well, hey, you want to be part of this We Are the World thing? And he's in true Prince fashion. He's like, yeah, you want me to lay down some sweet guitar stuff? And they're like, no, we need you to be a face and singing. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So not only
Fuck the world.
well, no, he just wasn't. He offered some other. He said, if this is going to come into a full blown album, I will write several tracks for the album. So he wasn't being a total dick, but the buzz built because you guys, if you've not watched the documentary, by the way, on We Are the World, it's pretty cool to see how that all actually came together because it's pretty makeshift and barely even happened. But the buzz at the actual awards ceremony was what brought most of the people to the recording session that happened all night long after. So this is all overnight, right? Everyone's exhausted. Prince literally told anyone in his crew, you cannot go. I don't want you there because I already told them no. Although he obviously sent Sheena. But anyway, so then his press agent was like, look, if you're going to do this, you're going to look really bad. The only thing we can do to kind of like do this, we're going to have to tell everybody you have the flu. So go back to your hotel room. I know you're excited because you won all these awards. Just chill there and we'll deal with what happens later. So they did. They all went to Prince's hotel room and they partied till like 2 a.m. And then they all left because they were tired and Prince was looking tired. What does Prince do? They hit the clubs and his bodyguard gets in a fight with somebody. And then the headline news the next day is essentially bodyguard for Prince gets arrested while the rest of the people are trying to save the world. So it was a huge flop, a really big problem for Prince, which I did not know happened.
Yeah.
Just,
I was going to say, I'd never heard that story.
Yeah.
The scrutiny these people the scrutiny they go through, all eyes on you at all times.
Prince, all the way, by the way, also was donating money to humanitarian efforts. So, which is not to say that he should have not also contributed to this one, but it's not like he was just all about Prince.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Other research, other stuff that you guys had that you wanted to add before we take a break to hear from this week's sponsor?
I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to hear what Nate has to say.
It's already 10 o'clock. We're an hour in.
It's only 9 o'clock for Ryan.
Yeah, it's only 9 o'clock.
But it was like midnight Nate time for me.
Just a quick about the actual album itself. And the album came about. Prince, after his first 5 albums, had satisfied his first contract term with Warner Brothers. And they were coming to him saying, okay, we're going to renew the contract. You're amazing, blah, blah, blah. He had 1999 behind him. Let's talk. And he told his managers, he didn't talk to them directly. He told his managers that I will not renew contracts with them unless they put me in a major motion picture and put my name above the title on the marquee. And they pay me X amount, blah, 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 whatever of, all the, the gross sales and blah, 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 the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the managers were shitting their pants because they didn't have any sway in the film industry. So they worked their butts off for, to try to land this, and they finally landed it. And there were a ton of directors that balked at it. I'm not doing it. No way. Absolutely not. They came upon the director that actually ended up doing it, and he rewrote, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the whole thing. So the entire project came about because Prince was gangster enough to say to Warner Brothers, "You're not getting me unless you put me in X, Y, and Z." And because he knew he is maybe the person, and this is part of his mystique, like part of the thing that makes him him. He knew he could deliver. He knew he could. And he knew he could come to the table and demand that of the big bad Warner Brothers. And that at some point they would buckle. Anyway, the actual nuts and bolts of it was that he was renewing his contract, and he put that out on the table and said, "You're not getting me unless I get this."
There was one final thing that I was saying earlier with the poster, holding up that poster from Controversy, is that his confidence. And then Ryan said it again a while ago, like the confidence in him, in how good he was. And we've all, I mean, normally you'd call somebody like that an egotistical asshole, but I
think you still can.
Well, sure, you could. I don't with him. I'm just like,
but he's very equally two-sided, you know?
He's just describing himself. I mean, he can't. I have a couple quotes though. I want you guys to decide who said these quotes about Prince. I'm gonna come in a ways in on the first one here.
Thanks, Jilly Fallon.
Prince is a rare exotic bird. There's only a few others. To be that popular and that uncompromising, it's like Superman walking through walls. In the second, this person was asked, which modern artist do you listen to? He says, Prince. He's out there. He's uncompromising, a real fountainhead. Takes dangerous chances. He's androgynous, wicked voodoo. Any guesses on the who?
Miles Davis.
No. Good guess, though.
I know Miles. Miles really respected him. And he was one of the names that Miles would say outside of his own world that he liked.
Tom Waits.
Yep.
Here we go with another Tom Waits reference.
I Tom rolled you guys.
We all should have known.
I love it. You know what? I feel so on the inside that I know that the mention of Tom Waits' name should bring.
I don't think everybody gets it when they're on the show. We haven't prefaced every guest with that, and so they're kind of like question marks over their head.
Should bring a hurrah. Tom Waits.
Love it.
Were both of those Tom Waits?
Yeah, the second was from a Playboy interview. The first one was from the Prince.org site. I don't know the context of the interview, but yeah.
Killer. Love it.
Good get, Drew. Good get. Okay, hey, let's. You want to take a quick break and hear from this week's sponsor? So, Ryan, I know you're prepped, but Ron just sent me something.
Oh yeah, that's the prep.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay.
Is this a sequential ad, Ryan?
No.
I
just
very
lied.
good.
I just lied on your behalf.
Oh, you're the best. So,
Okay.
Bert.
Yes.
All right. So this week's ad, they
Don't
said
read
to
it.
me,
You got to read it cold, bitch.
I'm setting it up so that I can read it.
so they said it to me, but it should have gone to you. And I have to say, I am proud of you for your innovation, Bert.
My innovation.
Yes, I think you have a spectacular idea here. And so if you would like to read the copy they erroneously sent me, I'll turn it over to you.
I will pull this up right now and read it. We'll do it live.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. This week's podcast is sponsored by something. By me, apparently. Are you the executive or producer in charge of scheduling team meetings, events, or maybe even a podcast? Do you find that coordinating everyone's schedule to meet at one time is akin to herding cats, stacking BBs, or nailing a bowl of Jell-O to the wall? Then download Bert's Schedule Lock. Bert's Schedule Lock uses cutting-edge AI technology to search prospective meeting attendees' calendars to identify potential meeting days and then send them to the meeting organizer. If a prospective attendee does not identify or confirm a meeting, Bert's Schedule Lock will automatically send reminders to prospective attendees to confirm the meeting. If a prospective attendee continues to be delinquent, Bert's Schedule Lock will ramp up the intensity of the reminders. Bert's Schedule Lock starts off gently with messages such as, "Hey guys, we got to get something on the books soon." Or, "We're out of episodes in the bank and need to record soon." Ramps up to, "Seriously, assholes, I'm getting nervous and need a date now." Or, "Dickheads, if I don't get a response soon, I'm going to kick your fucking ass." With Bert's Schedule Lock as an organizer, you have the option to go nuclear and intimidate your prospective attendees in meaningful ways. Bert's Schedule Lock will search your prospective attendees' virtual footprint and find out what they're afraid of and automatically send their fears to the house. Don't like clowns? Bert's Schedule Lock will book a clown and send it to their house to remind them that they have a meeting to attend. Are they afraid of snakes? Bam! Snakes on the way. As an organizer, you don't have to lift a finger and send repeated emails and texts. Bert's Schedule Lock does the work for you. "But Bert, my prospective attendees still don't respond." Not a problem. When you get the premium package, Bert's Schedule Lock will locate a local gangster, biker, violent felon, crooked cop, or Mormon to show up at their home or place of employment to deliver a forceful message that is guaranteed to not only get a response, but will ensure they never overlook, ignore, or reschedule a meeting request ever again. Bert's Schedule Lock for when you're sick of other people's bullshit and you just want to get things done. Yes, I am here for it.
You know what I love about that is it's a job creator.
Yeah,
True story.
Local economy,
You know,
man.
yeah.
It's all about local economy.
And that's, Bert, you always had a mind for the people. So
so
congrats on your new effort.
I appreciate
But you know
that.
who gets the credit? I mean, is it Bert the creator, or is it the
AI?
the ill responding member of the group that is not, if
That's the motivator. That's a good
if I
point.
keep ignoring the text, I keep employing people around me. Just how far do we want to go with the benevolence?
Ah, there you go.
All right. All
That's
right.
it.
Druda has a point.
Druda Freelander.
I gotta figure out who that is.
Thanks to Bert's Schedule Lock, me, for sponsoring this evening's podcast. We appreciate that sponsorship. Send me money. Hey there, 100 Albums family. Bert here. As has happened several times on the pod, our conversation about Prince went really long. I know, huge surprise. So much so that we're going to cut it into a 2-part episode. Tune in next week for part 2 of our conversation about Purple Rain. But in the meantime, please go check out Nate's art and music project, The Ultraplane, at theultraplane.com. TheUltraplain.com, where you can check out his most recent single, Everyone is Lonely. You can also follow The Ultraplane on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Ultraplane. Drop him a follow and let him know that the 100 Albums podcast sent you. Lastly, don't forget to drop us a follow on socials at 100 Albums Podcast, or leave us a voice message at speakpipe.com/100albums. That's speakpipe.com/100albums. As always, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Later, turkeys.
Yeah, I got a lot of text messages about the Tupac one on account of Liz's SpeakPipe entry.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
You got to wait till the very end. That is intentional. It's like
It's
like a Marvel movie Easter egg. You got to wait till the very, very end.
Yeah.
So, hey, we never got to touch base on The Cure. What would, if you were... Drew, is your hair down? Is that real, or is that a wig?
It's my fucking hair, man.
Your hair is that long?
Drew's hair grows at superhuman
Like
pace.
I thought mine grew fast.
Do you have hair that long?
He's got long hair. Do I?
At,
is
at
Nate-
our age, I'm just happy someone has hair because
That's
it keeps going.
Nate, I'm only getting you in my left channel.
Okay, give me a second.
So anyway, Ron, I was starting to ask before Drew's hair threw me for a curve.
Hey, can I call Drew Judah Freelander all night?
Trucker hat, the whole 9 yards, man.
Well, because of my funny lighting, it's probably hard to see, but my hat is indeed purple as we're celebrating the purple one.
Yeah.
As is my T-shirt. This is my Newport Jazz T-shirt from last year. R.I.P. It was last weekend. We had to miss it, but I want you to read my hat up close. It's a very important local establishment I'm supporting here.
I got swamp ass at the swamp.
Brilliant.
This is
Absolutely
This
brilliant.
is gonna happen again to me, isn't it? By the way, I listened to the Synchronicity episode, one of my favorite albums. I loved the discussion, was great. I loved it, enjoyed it. Yeah, and
Drew just walked away.
I was gonna say
He's like,
He's like, synchronicity. Fuck that.
I'm just happy he's
I'm
wearing pants.
and I'm not.